Namaste everyone. Today we are going to talk about dealing with stress, anxiety and panic attack. During this situation of global pandemic, we must have been going through more stress and experiencing more anxiety than before. I would like to tell these are the normal reactions to abnormal situations, and for time being it is okay to feel not okay because the situation currently we are having is not normal. So while talking about stress and anxiety, often the terms are used interchangeably, so it may be helpful to understand it. In situation of uncertainty like the pandemic we are going through, we give a rise to a response, which is actually a stress. So stress can be best understood as having the symptoms in our body, like the racing of the heart, sweaty palms, and a discomfort in the stomach or digestive issues, chest tightening, feeling difficulty in breathing, and difficulty in breathing, restlessness, and even difficulty in sleeping are some of the examples of stress. So experts agree that the core component of stress is the perception of threat or danger around us. In fact, as the different individuals, the response we give to stress is also different. So talking about anxiety, anxiety is commonly described as having both mental and the physical symptoms. It can be best understood as the unhelpful thinking pattern we experience when our mind gets fixed on any threat, uncertainty, and the negative things around us or the situation going on around us. So it can occur on its own as a response to a stress, or it can even trigger the stress. So when it occurs as a response to stress, it can intensify our stress, and in worst case it can lead to panic attack as well. So it's important to understand that we cannot control anxiety from occurring because this is our brain's automatic survival mechanism. But what matters is learning how to respond to anxiety in a helpful way, helpful manner, so that we don't get carried away by the stress going around. And when we are more anxious, we go through thinking processes that are not helpful to us, like we start to scan the threat around us, we start to see the worst outcome or the worst scenario of any situation, and we start to worry hypothetically, we start to give emotional reasoning rather than the rational reasoning, or rather than the believing on the facts, we start to give emotional reasoning and we start to make more predictions. So panic attack, talking about panic attack, it is a sudden episode of intense fear that trigger severe physical reaction where there is no danger or there is no any cause of danger as well. So it is both psychological and the physical intense reaction. In psychological, how the person perceives like that there is a feeling of out of control. There is a strong feeling of out of control, and there is extreme fear of death. And in physical, the person may feel like the pounding of the heart or racing of the heart, trembling, breathing problem, nausea, weakness, and sweating, etc. So for all these three situations, stress, anxiety, and the panic attack, the very first thing we can always do is breathing. Breathing in slowly and breathe out slowly. So take few minutes for breathing only. When we feel better after breathing, now we can focus on the thinking pattern that we are worrying about or that are causing us stress or anxious. And so while focusing on our stress or thinking pattern, it is true that we really can't stop the hypothetical worries from occurring, but we can control our response to them. Thinking like whatever happening around me is within my control or this is out of my control. Like there are so many stressors going around us, and separating the stressors in a two-way. Like for example, these stressors are under my control and these stressors are under not my control. So when we separate in this way, we already feel more better because it lessens our stressors. And the things that are under our control are like the building resiliency, following the latest information, and taking advice from the experts, or focusing what is important, and making more structured routines, giving time to relaxation, developing connection, social connection around us, eating well, doing regular physical exercises, and maintaining a sleep habit, and seeking help, and even supporting to others also make us feel better. And the things that are outside our control can be like other people's decision, other people's health, and the news going around us, the government's action, the schools or colleges are opening or they are closing, or exams, or the healthcare system, whatever going around us are out of our control. I agree that this situation of course create stress to us, increase stress to us, but thinking in that way, okay, these things are out of my control, so I really can't do anything on this. So it helps to, in a way, decrease our stress. And when we are anxious, challenging our own thought is really productive and helpful also. For this, first give attention to your thought. Be aware of the thought that we are going through, and try to understand what the thought or the thinking process is trying to tell me. Now start to challenge your thought. Look for the facts of the thought before believing what you are thinking. Acknowledge that anxiety has been dominating your thinking and let the unhelpful thoughts go. So for this, we can ask the questions to ourselves like, is this true? The thinking that I'm having, is this true? Is this helpful to give more attention to the thought I'm having? And is it important to focus on the thought I'm having? And again, is it necessary to take action on the thought I'm having? So we can ask these questions to ourselves before going to action or acting to the thought we are having. And sometimes distraction activities are also very useful. If our mind continues to spiral with unhelpful thoughts, and distraction can be very effective and productive. Distraction activities help to feel happier, more motivated, and more energized. Some of the distraction activities that are proved really helpful are structuring your day, structuring your event, or plan for your week, and try some mindful activities, doing some physical exercises and yoga, plan your eating habit, watch comedy or watch fun series, learn new things, read about someone who really inspires you. You can do the activities like mindful coloring or the drawing, and if you are on the creative side of writing, you can always write the poems, short stories or journals, and the gardening, etc. are the activities that helps to distract us and improve our well-being also. And while creating stress resiliency action plan, we can focus on certain things like nowadays we are in home during this lockdown and studying or working from home only. So it is really important to schedule our work and take regular break from our work. So we can write down our goal and plans, and we can always list out the make important things for the day. For example, if we make a list of the 3 important things for the day and follow that routine, it will be more easy and we are less stressed. And we can also write down the to-do list before we sleep for the next day. We can make a regular eating and sleeping schedule. It is very important. We can like in a way tidy up the workplace after finishing our study or our work, and we can always be creative in our work. In a way, spending time with the family is also very helpful to connect or to get connected with each other. We can do some creative activities with our families once a week, and more importantly, be kind to yourself because you are more important.